Hello, welcome. This is my EDC video for July. I'm going to make sure I put this up very soon after recording it. So, it's been a while since I've done any sort of recordings. I realize that. Again, I'm sorry for the delay. I think I said a couple weeks. It's been many months. But I wanted to make sure I had a few things ready to go. More than just like one or two things. And I had things a little more figured out. So this is mostly like an upgrade to my system, things that I wanted to and just finally was able to get and make into a better system. So before you say anything, before you put this in the comments, as a disclaimer, I know I don't have a multi-tool. I'm getting one at some point, just not right now. People are like family members are stopping me from buying one, which means with my upcoming birthday, that might be what I'm getting. So we'll see then. Otherwise, yeah. This is pretty much all that I need. Give or take, depending on the situation. And that situation is either stuff that I use every day or every week, or stuff that's good in case of an emergency. That can get me, keep me on my feet or give me a little foundation until I can get to, my bug-out bag or something if such a time were to occur. So let's go ahead and talk about stuff that I don't carry in my pockets. And that would be, starting out, my watch and paracord bracelet. Yeah, it's a metal band. That's the one criticism I have about this watch. Otherwise, it's motion wound, it tells time really well, don't need a battery for it, that's good. But yeah, metal bands I'm not a fan of. But this was a gift, and I actually did try to exchange this for a different watch. Couldn't do so, given the, return policy and that stuff. And it's hard to adjust these kind of watches, that's what I don't like about them, but I'm stuck with it, and that's okay. I don't mind. I've learned to adjust and adapt. And I've added with that the paracord bracelet like before. Why, you may ask, well, there's actually a good practical reason to have one of these if you have a watch like that. This is on having a security strap on here to hold it in place. So it's just hit that button and it comes off. Which means if someone did want to steal a watch, they could go onto your wrist, hit that button, slip it off. Which I have seen done multiple times. Also because a friend of mine was kind of showing people how to do that, because, whatever. Not that he was actually stealing the watch. But I like to do that, is this is kind of a barrier to keep this watch on my wrist in case I'm out in public or something, and someone wanted to try to take it. It'd be a little bit tougher. Might work. And that's why I have that and the paracord bracelet. And again, paracord is useful in case of an emergency. You can undo those bands and, use it for whatever you need paracord for in that situation. And again, that's another reason why I carry that. Now, I may change the paracord bracelet because this is very plain, very simple. I might see about getting one that I can put like a little compass on and has a little fire starter on there. It might be kind of fun. Like a whole survival kit on my wrist. That could be fun. That's just me being a goober. Anyways, next up we have my cross on my neck and then my NRA pin. Now, I still get someone or people asking if this is a Hunger Games pin. Just wow. Just absolute wow. No one reads, apparently. Oh well. Yeah, they can read Hunger Games, can't read frickin' pin. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling. So, where are those? There's no real practical function, just I'm a member of the NRA, like show my support. That's it. Alright, next up, back pockets. We have wallet. Very useful item. What do I use it for? Well, what do you use a wallet for? Simple as that. Might replace this with something else at some point down the road. I don't see any major reason to, it's just kind of hard to slip my ID out sometimes on the flaps, and I don't know, I might go for one of those like metal anti-scan wallets or whatever they're called. RFC ID or whatever, I don't know, I'll look it up later. I also keep in one pocket, and other pocket, I carry a bandana and a emergency blanket. This one I haven't used. I have used this kind before once in a while. It came in a huge pack of them. And yeah, it was a time when I was camping. Someone needed a sleeping bag. I lent them mine because I had that and I thought it'd be a good time to test it out. These are actually really useful. And again, there's the bandana, which has multiple uses. If you want to check out a good video of that, I would suggest on the Sensible Prepper channel or Such Double Lot. He had one. We talked about like multiple uses for bandanas, and that's a very good argument for carrying one. Alright, next up, we have on the waistline, starting out. Now, this is where I got a criticism. Someone said, you need a firearm. I had one, I just didn't have one that I could put in frame. I finally have a setup where I can put it in frame, so here it is. My Springfield XDM. I'm not going to mess around with it too much, because it's kind of hot right now, so... And yeah, I'm trying to avoid my hand from going near the barrel, just in case. But yeah, it's been great, that's what I carry. Yeah, I'm not going to go into a big detail about what's the best model to carry, things like that. Just, that worked for me, you know. What works for you is what works for you. Next up. Oh wait, no, before that. Holster. I will say, do not particularly like this holster. Could use a different one, something else. If you guys have any suggestions, this is where I really need suggestions. I'm thinking of maybe getting a Galco King Tuck or Galco Miami Classic to use in replace of this, or whatever holsters I do have, because I'll show you why. One, this thing is already starting to wear out a lot. Second, not the best idea, because either this is too loose on my waist and kind of moves around, it's very uncomfortable, and so I feel like so it can be almost kind of obvious that I might have something on. The other problem is, if I do make it secure, it's really hard to draw this out if I need to. So, huge liability, and I actually use this with a few other different holsters. This is one thing that I use. Given the right kind of pair of pants, I can use this one okay. Otherwise, I have this really cheap holster here that I use, so one of those. Just kind of depends on the day. But yeah, that's what I really need the most help on, is finding something new to carry with. So if you have any good holster suggestions, please let me know in the comments. Next up, my phone. This is a Nexus 5 by Google, I think, yeah. And it's a great phone. It's just kind of bulky with a holster. But I need a smartphone that's got a lot of power to it, and this one does for whatever I need. And so I have to carry this with me, and that's... Now, whenever I'm like, you know, whenever I can, like, have like a messenger bag or something, I throw that in there so I don't have to keep it on my waist, and that's so much better. You know, it's almost literally, almost a thorn on my side. It bugs me like a thorn on my side, basically, what I'm trying to say. Because I'll get in the car, try to drive, and that thing's stuck in my hip, and it just doesn't feel right, or can't get to just the right position. But, well, I'll just deal with that as I can. You know, you have a better cell phone system, I envy you that. But this is what I'm stuck with. And also on my hip, I have a fixed blade knife. This is a small maybe I guess a medium you might call it. This is a Benchmade Nincub 2 154 cm. It's combo edge because, well, this is a discontinued line, and this is the only one they had. So that's what I got. Love it though, even with that. Serrations are fine. I use this knife whenever I need to, and it's been great as a, you know, fixed blade EDC tool. Very useful as just keeping some sort of fixed blade on you, you know, if you can. You know, this is legal for me to carry, at least, where I live. And that's kind of why I got that one, instead of like a giant one. So yeah, if you can, fixed blade knife, good way to go. Now, into the pockets. Let's see, did I go over the keys? I'm going to go over the keys again, just in case. Quick overview. Alright, I have this bottle opener. This bottle opener isn't super useful. Doesn't open bottles very well, but what it is good for is I can take this out, my keys out of my pocket with this. That's what I've been using it for. I will probably be replacing this at some point with a lanyard of some kind instead, but for now, this is good. That's down the road, and I'll probably, once I get a few more upgrades or something, I'll show you there in another EDC video. Another cross, and here's my can opener. I've used it a couple times for fun. Just because I can. Did I just make a... Okay, whatever. I think I just made a pun because I can. Ha! Oh well. So, been useful. You know, a little slow sometimes. Easier to use those little crank handles than an electric one, but if you don't have those handle. Anyways, you can get one of these pretty cheap. You can get a little pack of these on Amazon for like a couple bucks. It's, you know, not the easiest thing to adapt to. There's a bit of a learning curve if you don't know what you're doing, but you can. I must stop with these puns. God. And fun. Fun to use, useful tool. Like having that. And finally, on my keys, I have this Streamlight Nanolight. I'd seen this for a long time on Amazon. And I was like, yeah, maybe I should get this, maybe I shouldn't, I don't know. Yeah, the price is right, but I don't know, blah, 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 you know, just kind of like, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. But it kept bugging me. I kept bugging myself, like, maybe I should get this, maybe I shouldn't. So finally I just said, screw it, I'm going to buy this. See what it's like. And I'm so glad I did. This replaces this old tool here, this cheap Chinese pocket knife I had, with this little light here. Problem with this light, I have to hold down my thumb or it doesn't work. Not very useful. What I do with that, though, is I put it on my bedside table, so if the lights go out, I can use that to get to another flashlight. Silly as that may sound, that's what I've got for now. Yeah, I'll probably get another flashlight at some point and replace that, too, again, on my bedside table. But that works for a little bit. But yeah, this is nice. It's 10 lumens, which you may not think of as a lot, but for a keychain, and for me, that's great. It's useful. I mean, wow. Very sturdy. You just got to trim this handle here, and it lights up, and you just hold it there. Oh, so many times I've used this. You cannot believe. Good to have a little pocket light like that if you need it. And I would definitely suggest this model or the Keymate or any of those like that because it's such a well-made flashlight. So yeah, get one if you don't have one or something very similar. Next up in my pocket, same pocket, I will carry this small lighter, or I also have a bigger one I'll carry sometimes, depending on my mood. And I don't smoke or anything. I just like to have a lighter in case I need to use a fire starter for, grilling out or, 4th of July, lighting some fireworks, things like that. That's what they get used for. And again, just a cheap Bic lighter like this will do you just fine. You don't need like a fancy Zippo if you don't want it. Don't need a stormproof lighter. Well, I don't really, because, I'm usually not in an area where I have to, but, each their own. But this is fine for me. Fits my pocket, nice and simple, easy to carry. And yeah, it's a good fire source if you need it. That's all I have to say on that. Moving on to knives. The fun stuff, right? Okay, so this is a very new acquisition for me. This is a Boker Subcom F combo edge knife, Aussate steel. I don't think this is G10. It looks like G10. I only had this a couple days, but wow, useful. I will be doing a bigger review on this knife to let you guys know what I think about it more. But yeah, I love this little knife, and I've been kind of doing it in multiple pockets. I've been trying, that small pocket in the one side of your jeans. I've also tried the back pocket and stuff, and just whatever kind of fits. So I don't have a designated pocket yet, but I'm working on it. Next up, Victorinox Huntsman Silvertech. Another useful tool. Alright. This is my subsonic screwdriver, as I like to call it. And I've used every one of these tools at least once or twice, if not more, in different situations, except one, and that is this parcel hook, which they really should replace with maybe like a Phillips head screwdriver or something. But otherwise, yeah, great tool. I would suggest that or the Victorinox Fieldmaster. Either of those two. They're basically the same knife. The only difference between the Fieldmaster and that is there's a Phillips head instead of a corkscrew. I really would like to have the Phillips head and the corkscrew, and I will get into that in my review of that, which is forthcoming. And finally, I have my little medium and or large folder, depending on what your opinion of large and medium are for knives. It's a Benchmade Griptilian 551. I do believe it's 551. Yes, it is. Okay, making sure. For what I use it for, yeah, this is a great knife. Because I'm not putting this to extreme use. That's what I use this knife for. Yeah, I don't need to baton through a tree or anything, so the handle material, the partial liners really don't come into a major factor for me, but they could for you if you really want to try to use it as a hard use or extreme use knife. And that is like the only real criticisms I've ever heard about this knife is the handle material feeling kind of cheap or just not being what someone's particular fancy is, and the partial metal liners in here, which you can't see because my lighting's not so good, but maybe I can do a review on this knife again and tell you more about my thoughts on that. But as just an EDC knife that I use as a cutting tool, or even a defensive tool, yeah, this is fine for me. Fits just nice in the hand. Good reach on that blade, so if you need to for an emergency, yes. These little Griptilians are not bad for that. And, you know, fun little access lock. I love just flipping this out a little bit. I'm going to stop rambling. Maybe I'll talk more about that later on. So this is what I carry so far. Let me know what you guys think about this system so far. What I need to update and change out. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Mostly on things I can do to maybe replace this ball opener, maybe with some sort of lanyard or something. If you know something that's good for that, I might even start using a field sharpener instead of that, but who knows. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'll try it out at some point. And, you know, other things are if you know a good holster I can get to replace this one. Please, that'd be awesome. So, another good idea. And, you know, if you have any other knife options, like, I love this Scriptilian, nothing wrong with it. But I'm always that person who likes collecting knives. I have a huge pile that I've been amassing over the last couple of years. So if you think of anything else that's in this category that might be useful to, you know, look into, please let me know. I was thinking maybe a Benchmade Striker 904, about the same size as this one. That might be useful. With the G10 full metal liners. That was another option. Yeah, not that I would replace this knife, but just, you know, as a switch out. Depending on my mood. Kind of the same thing. So, this is my system. I don't think I know of anything else I really need to say about it. Just leave a comment. If you like this video, please leave a like on there. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I'm going to put some more videos up where I kind of review this gear a little better. Alright, I'm going to sign off now. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody. And remember, stay prepared.